All right, guys, welcome back to episode 8 of the Lifestyle Loops podcast. We are Jake Byers list today, sorry. As he's still in the land of the Donbury. So we've drafted in Shea once again. We've got him back on. Mate, what's the crack? How have things been since the last time you were on?
Boys, what a pleasure. Like, come on. No, late second half substitution for Bayern's today when he's out doing 33k steps and buoying the people. But aye, we're good, man. We're good. It's since the last time I've been on, it's not much has changed. I just off seasoning like and
Good man.
few more off plans, a few more trips away. But aye, doing good, man. How are you boys getting on?
Grand. Can't complain. Can't complain. As you say, just off seasoning. I think the both of us are kind of just coasting
hmm
slowly
We'd say
towards
we
it.
let, we had a chat there before this, and kind of just want prep to start now. It just feels like everything's slowed down. That excitement of coming out
Yeah.
of pre-prep has died off, and you're just like, oh,
Oh, 100%. I think he's in a position where you can't fully put the foot in the gas and be like, right, let me just send this and be like, just get as big as possible. You're sort of in like the position where you're like, right, keep training in a good spot, like slowly gain, like just slowly gain weight and work foot up.
Yeah, it's an enjoyable I think it's like an enjoyable phase, but you also are just kind of it's that thing whenever you're whatever phase you're in, you're always looking forward to the next one more, you know? It's the
mm,
same thing whenever you come towards the end of prep, you're obviously sitting there going, "Oh, I can't wait to get back into surplus and grow."
I know.
Um But yeah, no, literally, as you say, Matt, it seems like everything's slowed down. Like I've been putting off starting YouTube until March. I'd said that was what I was gonna do, and like it's still a month away, but I'm sitting here like it's like fuck me, is it about time I make a start here and put the first vlog up? Still a month away though.
mm.
Yeah, just wee milestones like that. I don't know, the time seems to be passing so slow, but
I think it's also seeing like other people starting prep
yeah, that's it
and
as
like
well.
seeing them improving and changing and stuff, and you're just like
Yeah.
mentally you're already there. You're like, I'm ready to go, like bring it on. But you kind of need to remind yourself like you're doing different shows, your timeline's different to other people's timelines, so you just kind of need to be smart about it. And like you said, just enjoying this phase, like doing more social things before prep
Yeah.
starts, making
Yeah.
sure everything is set up going into prep so that you can have a successful one. But yeah,
100%, man.
difficult. It is
I think
difficult.
the other head fuck for me is like if I look at my sheets, it tells me I'm 29 weeks out today from the
Yeah.
first show.
Yeah.
hmm
Um, so I'm starting prep in 9 weeks, and this time in 2023, I was a week into prep. I'd already
Yeah.
started. Just have to keep telling myself I was ready a bit too early in
hmm
2023, and I also had like 5 weeks worth of diet breaks, which we're obviously not really gonna, I don't think, prioritize as much this time around. But
Have
yeah.
you boys noticed that? Like, I've noticed a while of competitors now that's like whenever they do their first season, they figure out that right, my prep was way too long and I faded towards the end. And now you see more people this year going on their second season and doing shorter preps,
Mhm.
which is like Matt, that's the case for you. And obviously your prep is Cameron, your prep is going to be shorter than the last time.
I
But
think a lot of that does actually come down to like your prep starting point as well. I feel
yeah,
like loads of people realize their prep was too long, but their starting point was also too high from a body fat percentage. And so
yeah,
they're starting prep in a much better position. So that they
100%.
actually don't need as long of a prep. I feel like people always start prep and they either, like you said, have a prep that's too long where they fade massively, but then probably they went a bit too aggressive with things because their body fat was too high to actually begin with. So I feel like we're all starting prep from a much better position in
Yeah.
terms of body composition compared to the previous time. So
Yeah.
You also just don't have a reference. You know, you don't know what weight you're going to be on stage. That's the thing as well. I think a lot of times, like coaches and people are kind of just shooting in the dark because you're like, oh fuck, like I don't actually really know like what my stage weight's going to be. You might have an idea, but at least now, like I know kind of roughly what weight I need to get to. Same for the both of you as well. You know, for
what are
next time
you
around.
above your last stage with right now?
Uh, this morning, give me 2 seconds to find out exactly here.
I'm like 23 pounds above my last stage weight.
That's
So yeah,
mad.
I'm 23 as well. Yeah.
And I like
Um,
and I like good like decent condition too. Like
But then this is
yeah.
the thing, like I'm lean, but I'm not like anywhere near like stage lean. So
yeah.
Yeah.
it's like, I feel like if I got like another 15 pounds off, I'd be like, it would be like that kid, like with all the kids in the gym going, "Oh mate, you're ready? You're ready now? You're so lean."
You're too
It's like,
lean.
no, mate, I still have another 10 pounds to come off to get these glutes in.
Yeah.
That's
The
a
last
hard
10 pounds,
like
the last 10 pounds, I think is so deceiving as well because you do have people coming up going, lad, like fuck me, you're ready now.
I know.
Here, I'll get out of the posing room. I'll get out of the posing room for you, mate. You're fucking already, you're ready. Fucking hell. No, to be fair, I'm 23 pounds up, but probably about 3 pounds of that is the excess glycogen I'm storing from last night's trip to Ordo.
Water and
Um,
pure pepperoni in your stomach, like
yeah, yeah, and
Hot honey
half
running through the blood.
a fucking
like
brownie. But yeah, no, I suppose we've kind of just mentioned it there, so we may as well get into it. Quite appropriate. We have two posing experts on this podcast as well.
yes.
When we consider some of the hot topics for today, so let's get into the elephant in the room and maybe put this one to bed. Um, Posing rooms. What do you think of them, Shay?
There's been a lot of talk about them recently, to be fair. See, the funny thing is, boys, any of the gyms that I trained at don't have a posing room, which is the funniest thing ever. I literally just have to go into some, like, I think when the pro gym has some random back room that has security equipment and a mirror, and
Yeah,
I literally did all my posing there. But in my opinion, right, put it like this, during my prep last year, I didn't have any cardio, right? One of my only forms of expenditure was posing, all right? And if you're a competitor who's in a prep and have assigned rounds of posing to do, that's what the posing room is for. Do you know what I mean? If it's like realistically that you boys train in the dock and it's a bodybuilding gym, all right, and there is a posing room in a bodybuilding gym, in my opinion, if you're a competitor who has posing rounds to do, has to send shots over to your coach, and is like actively looking to improve your posing in order to step on stage, I think that the posing room is for them people. Do you know what I mean? Posing,
yeah,
it's obviously a gym and it's an open space. Don't get me wrong. And it should be an open space for everybody, but there's a stark difference between like two lads who are going on giving each other piggybacks and one boy who's hitting like a front lat and doing 30-second holds. Do you know what I mean? That's like there's a big difference there. Like, um, but that's what I had to say on it. Obviously, like the main argument you boys got into a few people with was that like obviously the gym is an open space and no, it's everybody, it's for everybody. Like, but it's for everybody, but not everybody is like putting the same effort on the posing as other people.
yeah.
I
So
think for me, it's like if there was somebody on a piece of equipment and they weren't using it properly, you'd be like, get off it. Like, don't use it. If you're not going to
Uh,
use it properly, then don't waste someone else's time by using it. The same thing goes for a posing room. If you're not using the posing room properly for what it's intended for, then get out. There's people who need that room like for actual posing. And I think
exactly.
that's where the issues kind of coming in because people are like, I can use the posing room because I pay for the gym, and they're going in and taking photos of themselves, just like mirror selfies and stuff. They're still fully clothed as well, and it's
yeah,
like, yes, I suppose you have a right to that room, but you can do that shit in the changing room as well. Like
Yeah,
we can't, we're not allowed to go pose in the changing rooms anymore, and rightfully so because there's people getting changed. You can't like set your camera up and stuff, which is completely fair enough. That's why the gym doc got that posing room because we were obviously having to film in the changing rooms, and people were complaining and it wasn't right. So they got that room made for us so that we can go do our posing practice in a space that is designed for us. But it's
yeah.
like if you're not using that room for what it's intended for, then just don't use it. We have a right to it more than you if you're not going to use it for what it's actually built for.
yeah.
So
Like imagine somebody just went into it with a mat and a roller and started locked the door and started doing abs. Do you know what I mean? Like
the thing is,
theoretically,
the
with
people who
that
do
argument
that,
that anybody who pays for a membership and can make use of a space, if that's the angle you're coming at it from, then they're well within their right to do that.
mm-hmm,
Exactly.
mm-hmm.
Um, Yeah, so I have a few things to say on this. I need to watch what I say here. I might turn into a serious stabber, but mate, yeah, like the biggest one for me is right, and the angle I was coming at it from originally. I don't know if it's an awareness thing with these like youngsters who are in the gym now, which maybe it is. You know, for me, I was always, I think, quite aware of where I was at in my journey throughout the years, like in the gym, all the rest of it. At age 15, I didn't just wake up one day and go, fuck, here, I'm going to be a bodybuilder. Best order half a Gasp's website here and start, bombing into a posing room after every single session. Like that, that's not where I came from. It was more so I was like I remember the days of being like, oh, I can't start training in a proper gym until I'm able to bench 80 for 3 sets of 10.
100%,
can't,
man.
I
And I
can't
Aye.
was
buy
I
I
was
can't buy my
scared.
protein. I can't buy my protein clothes or
Oh,
Gymshark clothes until I
yeah.
Aye,
get
exactly. The
Like,
doc,
bro,
no, I need to train in pure gym until I'm big enough to actually like,
yeah.
yeah.
uh,
It's like, oh, I'm not big enough to wear Gymshark. Like a Gymshark fucking, what were they? They were like the sleeveless hoodies. Oh, mate, like if you're wearing one of them, like you need to be like at least, 80 kilos lean. Um, but yeah, for me, I'm not sure if it's the awareness side of it that it's as if, how like whenever we're with our logbook out, we're planning out the session, you're writing out what movements you're doing. It's as if for these ones that we have in our gym as well that are aged, 14, 15, 16, they've also at the very end got posing room. And
Hmm.
it's like it has to be
yeah,
done.
Posing room times 30 minutes.
Yeah, and it's like, mate, you don't, for one, for anyone, unless you're on prep and your coach has asked, like, for example, AJ said to me, look, Cam, I want you to send across around twice a day, once in the morning when you're checking in daily, and once post workout to obviously see how the carbs are looking, so assess fullness, all the rest of it. Yeah, you need to be in it every single day. That's fair enough. Or Matt or Shea yourselves, if you're a posing room, Shea, you're a posing coach, you're taking shots, one for yourself, but also for content. You need to be in it
yeah,
every day.
exactly.
Fair
Mhm.
enough. But like everybody else, even myself, you don't need to be in the posing room every single session. Like
Yeah,
realistically, we do as natural athletes, we don't progress at a rate quick enough to even notice any difference
yeah,
session
exactly.
to session, you know?
That's why we predominantly take check-in pictures once a week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
literally. Like sometimes I even cringe a bit whenever like people are like, "Oh, do you want to see the visuals?" And it's been 3 days since I last seen them. It's like, bro,
100%.
I've seen them. Like with respect, like even me sometimes, you're looking at your shots week to week. You don't see many differences unless you're making a tweak to how you're posing. You know,
100%. I do it all
muscularity
the time, man.
wise.
Especially like no over prep, it gets a head melt because if you're looking at your physique that often, and even post
Yeah.
prep, if you're looking at your physique every day, and you're like,
Yeah,
you'll drive yourself mad. Um,
yeah,
but
literally.
I,
It's I could chat about that all day, but it did seem to me, especially in our gym, that they were finishing the sessions. These kids that do train in our gym and they have a right to be in the gym, finishing their sessions are all just bombing in, crowds of five of them to hit a
I,
side tricep when, with the most respect in the world, don't really have the muscle to warrant doing that after every session. Or as I said, maybe it is just the awareness side of it that they're thinking they're going to go in and check the physique and they're looking different to yesterday.
it's just a
Y-
weird one if they're going on and doing that, and like as you say, like groups of five, and then somebody like you or Matt to stand outside, like literally waiting for like to go on and actually do posing rounds. You know what I mean? That's in that situation. It's like right, no, like
Because like we can't actually go do those rounds anywhere else. Like I
exactly.
joked about like going and doing a posing routine on a deadlift platform because like I can't actually do anything else or I
Yeah,
can't do that anywhere else in the gym
Yeah.
in that gym.
The other thing that,
They can go do that shit in the changing room or even on the gym
yeah,
floor. So just
hundred
taking
percent.
photos and literally lifting their sleeve up and hitting poses like that. So you can do that on the gym floor. You don't need to be
Yeah,
locking yourself in a room.
there's mirrors all around the gym. Yeah. Like what
Yeah,
happened to that?
I
Like
know.
you used to just do a set and you'd be like, oh fuck, right, okay, like I've got a bit of a tricep pump in the mirror. Like if that's what you're doing it for, you can just use those.
yeah,
Um, the the thing for me that pissed me off, which obviously kind of prompted me to post that story that initially started all this was I was in the posing room for 5 minutes, right? And it's a bit different, I think, whenever you are a competitor and you're actually putting trunks on or putting shorts on, whatever you're doing. Like, it takes a bit of time, obviously, to get ready for your rounds, get the camera set up. Mate, I was in the room for literally 3 minutes and some kid tried the door handle like 5 times. And there was literally a sign on the other side of that door at one point that said, when somebody's in the room, respect that. Don't be a dick. Don't be banging on the door, all the
Yeah.
rest of it.
Mhm.
It's obviously quite off-putting, so I didn't really appreciate that. And that's where I was like, right, I've had enough here. Um, to tackle the other point as well, which has kind of been lodged, I think it's totally different if you're English, to be honest, and you have a posing room in your gym and it's shit. Like, let's use Apollo Gym in Coventry. I've been there. Mate,
Mhm.
the posing room in there is gack. Nobody wants to use it. People are taking their shots usually in the changing room. They're
Yeah.
allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do that in the dock. Um, and that's the thing as well. The people that go to that gym, they're all so clued in. Like these, I can't even overstate. Like these people who we're talking about here, these kids, they're so new to training. Like,
They're like literally within the
yeah,
first 6 months max of
like
being in the
ground
gym.
level. In Apollo, anybody who's clued in enough, the type of people that gym attracts probably are also just at the stage where you don't care about the posing room. You go in and use it whenever you need it, but it's not
Mhm.
like this thing where there's like queues for it. Whereas because of the environment in our gym, it's like, oh, this gym has a posing room. As Shea says, this is quite rare. This gym has
Yeah.
a posing room. Let's fucking get in and use this after every session, you know?
Mm.
Mhm.
So there's that as well. I think it's totally different if you're from England, to be honest, because obviously over there, like some gyms have four, five, six posing rooms in them.
And you can even just
100%.
pose on the gym floor. You look at TPC, they've got a
Yeah.
posing room and they've actually got the gym floor, which they
Yeah.
have for people to pose in. So
Oh,
it's
100%.
if I can't get up into the posing room, there's people in it. Maybe Sinai is taking a posing class or something. Well, okay, there's the gym floor as well. I can wait until somebody's done with the dumbbells and then I can pose there. So we
Yeah.
don't have that luxury. We've
I
got
know.
the luxury of having a posing room, but we can't fucking get in it.
I think it boils down to different environments too, because in Ireland you have a while lot of gyms that be like, right, you're not allowed to pose on the gym floor. Like before prep, I got banned from my old gym for posing on the gym floor when there was
Mm.
plenty of other bodybuilders, enhanced bodybuilders, we'll say, enhanced bodybuilders that were posing, and the gym was completely fine with letting them pose. But as soon as a natural ups a star above and tries to hit a front pose, you're like, no, that's not good. You're like,
It
right,
was
so
because your men's physique, though.
it's because of men's physique and I'm no legs, like, and I'm literally 15 kilograms lighter than them, like, you know what I mean? So we can't have boys with no chest posting
Can't
in
have
the
that.
gym floor, like. But it's like, it's just, it does boil down to different environments, I think, because bodybuilding is such, like, it's not like, it's not as ingrained and it's not as ingrained in gym culture over here as it is in England and rest of the UK. That, like, if the posing room, as you say, Matt, and TPC, if the posing room is taken, you're 100% allowed to go and pose on the gym floor, and people are grand with it because it's a bodybuilding gym, you know what I mean? Whereas over here, like, you have more pure gyms than anything, so if you go to that in the pure gym floor, they're going to be like, right, what are you at that? Like,
I
Yeah.
think it's also the mixed message that the gym dog kind of sends because you've got
Mhm.
probably some of the best bodybuilders, both natural and enhanced training in that gym. But then, and they've got like on the wall the gym doc, or what is it, gym doc mecca of
Mecca
bodybuilding.
of bodybuilding,
yeah,
But
one of
then
the
you
champions.
actually you walk into the gym, and sometimes it's hard to even find a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's just like the mixed message of like, is this a bodybuilding gym? Are you trying to sort of prioritize bodybuilders and look after them? Or are you just like a general kind of population gym or
yeah,
like your gym? And I think that's part of the issue as well. Like you're getting kids coming in and they don't realize this is what the gym is trying to do. But it's like, I remember like elite and stuff back in Lisbon.
Yeah.
It's like you walk in, you knew that was a bodybuilding gym from the moment you stepped foot in there. You walk into the gym dock and it's got this unbelievable equipment, but the members are just like normal lifestyle people, which is perfectly okay. But it's just like it's that conflict of sort of ideas.
Yeah.
You don't really know
yeah,
what's going on. And I
Yeah.
think that impacts the atmosphere as well within the gym.
yeah,
That poster that went up on the door kind of gave me a smirk for that reason,
Yeah.
primarily a bodybuilding gym. Even yesterday, I think Rob put something up and I was like, yeah, right. So like that's clearly the angle we're coming at things from. So you know. Um, it's just
And like
trying
Rob, to
to.
be fair, Rob did like so when did he speak to me? That was Thursday, I think it was. So he called me over and he was like, mate, we need to sort this out with the posing room. And I think I chatted to him for like half an hour and then he drew up that message, that sign for the door. But he was saying like he does want to like look after us bodybuilders. Like he himself is a bodybuilder.
Mm,
So he just wants to make sure that, we've got the space we need to pose and stuff. And he was like, that's why I got the room for you boys, not for them and stuff.
Yeah,
But he was just obviously as a business owner, he's trying to figure out the right way to go
right
about
way to
that.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. I because it's a conflict of interest for him if he's trying to promote a bodybuilding gym, but then at the same time he doesn't want to say like you can't say no to people who
Yeah.
apply to the
No.
gym. So
Yeah. Yeah. And then as well, like ultimately it's a business, so
Mhm.
he's out to make money, like,
yeah, exactly.
same as anyone really. Like the more money he makes, the more bits of kit he can buy. For fuck's sake, there's
Exactly.
three bits of new Atlantis kit there at the minute. He doesn't even have, I don't even think he has space for it. They've just kind of
No.
sat there. Not very many gyms over here have, especially stuff from Atlantis sitting spare, like our
Uh,
manufacturer like that. So, um, yeah, no, it's a strange one. I've said that a few times. Like, obviously, very happy for him, and it's class to see that the gym's so busy, and like the hard work's paying off from that point of view. But then it's also like we're in like a little niche in bodybuilding. Thinking about like I'm about to start a prep here. I want to surround myself with the best possible environment I can be in, and sometimes the interactions I've had in there mainly around the posing room, but also around bits of kit, like as we've said, fucking people shadow boxing and stuff at times. It's a bit like, is this where I want to be? Would I sacrifice being on this prime flat press with my, different loading arrangements here? As Jake Byers loves it, but like for me, would I sacrifice that for a matrix press in a hardcore bodybuilding gym? Potentially at some stage of my prep, I might do
I
because I
would
might just be like,
honestly.
yeah,
Like I know I can't really talk much because I've never had access to like butts like Prime and Atlantis and stuff like that. Like boys during my whole prep, I ended up like I literally did half an hour per session on a pure gym. You know what I mean? So it's like I can't really relate to like having the pack of the bunch when it comes to kit. But it related to my question the last time I was on. It was like yes, you could have all the kit in the world, but like if some boys like if someone's doing a 6-7 dance in front of you with like pink sliders on. You know what I mean? It's
Don't
gonna
bring
throw you
him
off
up.
like
Oh, don't even.
don't bring him
serious.
up.
But I it's
He's
like
the one
it's
who wears the gum shield as well on his prime
Yeah,
preacher.
yeah,
the fluffy pink house slippers and the gum shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Aye, training to
Weapon
failure.
stuff.
Like, but um, it just depends on what is more valuable to you. If you can like, don't get me wrong. There's been plenty of times that I've gone on the gym and there's like five people on the deadlift platform and I've still pulled a PR and stuff like you know what I mean. But it's like
hmm
if you can lock in an environment where that's not that great, then fair enough, have at it. But if it matters that much to you, then maybe sacrifice the kit and go to a place where like you'll be able to train hard no matter what kind of machine you're on.
yeah,
Well, me and
100%.
you, see, have talked about potentially going to different gyms and stuff to train for prep. But like, I know for me, I was just like, right, I essentially can't train in the evenings because there's so many of them. I can't train in the afternoons because they come straight from school. I'm having to base my day around when they're in the gym
Yeah,
because it's not even the fact, it's not even just like what they're doing, it's the sheer number of them. Like they
yeah,
come in like groups of 5, 6, and you could get about 10 groups. Suddenly the gym is like a youth club, and you're like, this isn't the right environment for me. So I've changed what time I train at, and I train a little bit earlier. But then I'm now thinking, okay, that will be good for the next couple of months. But then they get off school in like June,
yeah.
and then suddenly when I'm in the fucking balls deep in prep, July, August, September, they're still going to be there, and they could be in early, and I'm like, what do I do?
Here's one that's like a good example of that. So last Wednesday, I went and trained legs. My legs is usually on a Thursday. It usually falls, but I went in the Wednesday night because I had to go in the office on Thursday. That was the crack. And mate, I can't remember the kid's name, but so I start that session, both sets, and obviously both exercises on, the prime leg extension, prone ham,
Yeah,
hybrid.
yeah, the
I'll
hybrid.
swap from the leg. Fair enough. Like if you're waiting on it, it's probably a bit of a ball ache that, but
Yeah.
I do 4 sets on the machine, but I swap it from the leg extension to the lying hamstring. And this kid came over clearly, and I was thinking, like, fuck's sake, he's clearly waiting on this, and I'm about to flip this into a lying ham curl after these sets on the leg extension. So I was nearly going to say to him, "Do you want to work in?" But I didn't. Um, but mate, I'd done my 2 sets on the leg extension, and he was sitting on, the Cybex lion ham,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So he's sitting on it, and I like flipped the prime to the hamstring mode, and he actually goes to me, "Sorry, mate, do you want to use this?" And I actually just thought, "Bro, no, like I'm using the prime one because I want to alter the profile. Like, there's actually a reason that I want to use this. Like, it's programmed in my session. So no, I don't want to use it. Like, if you wanted to work in with me, I would have
Hmm.
let him. But yeah, that's just kind of an example. Like, bro, I don't know. I couldn't even imagine like saying that to someone. In my position,
Yeah.
like back when I was that age, it's kind of like fucking hell.
It is just
Actually,
that like lack of awareness, lack of respect for people who are
yeah,
above you. And
as a
like
bit,
we talk about like wanting to surround ourselves with both like-minded people, but also people who are actually better than us. And I think at times like there is, you've got like Graham, Andres, Adrian, you've got like fantastic bodybuilders in there who's good to be around because they train well.
yeah.
But then the rest of the time you're surrounded by that and you're like, I feel like I'm being dragged down to their level.
It really threw me off. Like I know, like that's something I'd probably be saying to clients, like, oh, and you would say it to anyone, oh, like you can't let something like that just fuck up your session and totally threw you off. But it did. Like I was sitting thinking about it, and I was like, nah, like this is so annoying. I'm 2 exercises in here. I haven't even got on my squat patterns, and that's
Uh,
happened. It
it
does
does.
throw you.
It does really.
Um, but yeah, I mean that's a good example of that for me. I think the only thing I otherwise wanted to say on this was I was speaking to a couple of guys from the compound room in Lisburn. James obviously owns that gym. James has made their posing room competitor only now, and kids aren't allowed into it. So I mean that kind of shows you, they obviously had issues too.
Yeah.
I don't think it's entitlement, mate. Like I don't. I think it's just
That's the buzzword that was being kind of
yeah.
thrown at me for saying,
It's like,
I
no,
feel
mate,
like
I
bodybuilders
don't
should
think I'm
be.
entitled. I think it's just that's what it's there for.
Yeah.
Mm.
So,
I think I said like it's common courtesy. Like if you've got a bodybuilder who's waiting to go in and do like 3 posing rounds back to back of proper practice, they're getting ready for a show, they're competing later in the year. Some of them might be professionals. It'd be common courtesy if you're in front of them in the queue to just go either say, "Do you want to get yours done first?"
yeah,
or say to them, "I'm only going to be 5 minutes. I'm just taking some photos. Is that okay?"
100%. Like even that
If you
would
said that to me, I'd be like, "Yeah, mate, far away, no worries."
yeah.
uh,
Like, oh,
I done it the other night to Daniel Graham because I was going into pose and I was like, mate, are you looking in there? Because like I'm gonna be 20 minutes here, easy.
yeah.
And I let him go first. Like it's just
Oh.
um but yeah.
I suppose in terms of the changes that have been made, the posing room is now
Yeah,
what, max 15 or 20 minutes?
20 minutes or whatever, yeah.
Max 20 minutes, but we can take as long as we need, technically. Bodybuilders are like, you're allowed to spend as much time in there as you need. Uh,
is that the sign that he put up on the door?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's good.
And
Like at least.
then max 3 people as well.
Yeah.
So that should be easy enough to kind of police as well. There's no need to be going in a group of 6. There's that infamous photo of the wee Avengers, the group of like 6 of them all hitting a side tricep together.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, you don't need to be going in a massive group like that. If you're taking progress photos, it's for you. You can maybe have someone there to take the actual photos as well.
Yeah.
Or it's like Jake and I maybe sometimes go in there. I help him out with his posing. He has a look over me as well. Like there's nothing wrong with that, but you don't need to be going in a massive group.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, fingers crossed this gets sorted though.
Yeah. Yeah. I think just to put it to bed, the gym owner literally agrees with us. So
Mhm.
I don't think it's a case of us feeling entitled over something.
Yeah.
It is just a bit of a ball ache, to be honest. Like it does put you off. So yeah. But anyway, um, No, I mean, Shay, you don't even have one in your gym, so it is also a privilege to have that available, you know?
It is at the end of the day, like if you know take everything else out of it and all the politics and stuff, like if you do have a opposing room, it is really cool to have, like, so it's just a matter about respecting it, and obviously like if people need it more than you do, then offer it up, and if it's free, then fair enough, fire away, like, but as you say, like, it doesn't take much to just be like, oh, here, I'm only going to be like 5 minutes, or even say to somebody, do you want to use it
Mhm.
before me? But I
Yeah. But no. Anyway, we'll put that one to bed, I think. Hopefully we don't have any
I
more issues with it.
imagine, I imagine in a couple of weeks we'll probably have an update of some sort, but
Yeah, for
we'll
sure.
see. Uh-huh.
Um, but Shay, obviously you kind of touched on it at the start there. You were away this week, weren't you? In
was, man. I
Edinburgh.
went to Edinburgh on Wednesday, and I got back on Friday. There, it was good crack. It was lethal.
Yep.
I don't really like. Obviously, my girlfriend was off. She works in a school and she was off in midterm. So
Mhm.
I just booked a few days off work, but it was classy. It was good. It was good crack. Like, um, we didn't really. To be fair, we on the Thursday we like explored the place, and it's just pure nice, man. See all these streets with like the stairs and stuff on
Edinburgh's
them.
brilliant. Like I
Oh,
love
lovely!
Edinburgh.
Like,
Did
just such a
you
nice
go up
spot.
to the castle and stuff?
Went up the castle. We did that camera obscura place beside the castle with like all
Mhm.
the mad illusions and stuff on it. That was pretty cool. And then I don't know about you boys, but see, anytime I go away to somewhere, it's like more just about like I don't really plan stuff to do. I just go and like dander
Yeah,
about,
just cut about and see what
just see the
happens.
place. And then we went for sushi on Thursday, and oh my god, boys, it might have been the nicest food I've ever had in my life. It was like genuinely so nice. It was like it made me feel so good as well, because it was either like obviously you go for sushi, or like there's a stark difference between going for a sushi and going for like a massive Chinese. You know what I mean? You just feel two
Yeah.
types of way afterwards. Like, and like it was unreal, so nice.
We'll
What'd
have
you
to get
get?
you to Ginza at some point.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it's a good spot, Ginza. What did you get? What type of rules were on that?
I got a rainbow roll, so it was like salmon,
Uh,
tuna, and avocado. And then we got, what else did we get? We it was like all small plates, and then I got salmon, sashimi, because I like sashimi. It's literally just plain salmon. Got that. Got like fried Brussels sprouts or something like that. They were actually deadly. And then we got, chicken gyozas, so we like dumpling rolls.
yeah,
Got four of them too, banging. And then got an ice cream on the way home. So that was unreal. Like,
wasn't good stuff.
oh, boys.
Lovely. Did you do the
It has been.
dungeon thing?
What'd you say?
The dungeon thing, at all?
Oh no, we were going to do the Johnny Walker whiskey thing, and then we sacked
Oh
it,
yeah,
and we did the Camera Obscura instead. But apparently the dungeons are good. Apparently they're cool. Like,
yeah. I remember doing it at school. Like, fuck me, it must have been like would have been like 20 years ago now, which is a bit hectic, like P7. But yeah, I remember I remember it was like nightmare inducing at the time. Because obviously I was in primary school, but yeah, it was pretty sick. Um, but yeah, I haven't actually been to Edinburgh since.
but was good crack. Like, we trained as well. Like, I was like Friday, I was like, right, we'll just go home or whatever. But my girlfriend was like, no, I really want to train when we're away. So I was like, oh, happy days, like, sweet. She's more of a bodybuilder than I am now. Like, but we went to Summit Fitness in
I've
Edinburgh.
heard somewhat's good.
I
That's where
something
Taylor trains, Taylor
ridiculous
Robson.
kid. It was like the first time I've been on a prime and like ever. No, well, since Ultraflex,
Mhm.
rather than at MEW, but oh my god, I sent fun a message afterwards, and I was like, lad, if I had Prime every day, I would literally be Prime Samson Doida. Like, it was month. Fun fact as well, we didn't pay for a day pass. I don't know where his podcast is going out, like, but or where it's going, but we didn't pay for a day pass. The gym wasn't staffed until like 10 o'clock, and there was some boy leaving, so we were like, all right, sweet. And then the day pass wouldn't work, so we just straight left.
You just trained for free. That
Right.
definitely happened to me somewhere as well.
It was
Um,
sick.
can't even remember where it was, but yeah, like oh, I think it was is it Ultimate Fitness in Birmingham?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
In there, yeah. I definitely got a free one in there. It's a good setup as well.
Oh, it's cool.
Um,
Like,
but no, good stuff, mate.
it has
Is
been the
that
week of off plans, so what did you have last night, lad? You were at Ordo?
yeah, I was hitting up Ordo with Lauren, previewing the Lifestyle Loops trip
Just
to
doing a bit of
Ordo.
reconnaissance, I.
Yeah, just scouting the place out.
Yeah.
Um Yeah, no, it was very, very good. I had, what do we even have to start? Because she wanted starters. We got like this focaccia bread with garlic, butter, and then these, to be fair, which were good. They're like fritters, halloumi fritters, yeah. Um, that was the starters. I got the pepperoni hot honey pizza. So
Oh,
did
no
she, to be
sweat.
fair. Which was class. Really, really good. Although it's actually quite spicy last night. Like there was actually a kick off it,
Mm.
which was a bit surprising. Um, and then me being me thinking, well, I can't do this for very much longer. I was like, I am getting a dessert here because I've been to Ordo about 3 times and never got a dessert. So I was like, yeah, I'm
When
taking
in Rome,
this
like
now.
it's Valentine's Day, man. Come on.
I know, mate. Like the dessert menu's mad. There's like a hot cinnamon bun. There's a hot fucking chocolate brownie. Um, I looked them up on Instagram, mate. I laughed so hard as well. Like, I'm not really a fan of doing this. Maybe Jake is, but I went on Instagram and looked up Ordo and first thing followed by Jake Byers, and I was like,
Yeah,
I
he
don't
follows
even
the accounts.
yeah, like I don't follow the restaurants. Like I'll know them. Like even Ginza, I'm on Instagram here. He's probably following them, from when it was first mentioned.
I
But yeah, I laughed so hard when I saw it.
haven't got Ordo plan for like 3 months, and Jake's already scouting out and seeing what's
Yeah,
on the
mate, he's
menu. And
been
like,
talking about it since it was mentioned, for fuck's
how
sake.
many?
'Cause
Like,
I said, oh, like, I suggested what we'll do it as like a lifestyle loop sort of like meet up, like, get yourself down, get a few others involved and do it as like a big sort of send off before me and
for
Matt
prep and
start
stuff.
prep. Um, and yeah, mate, he's been going on, yeah, like he's following Ginza here, for fuck's sake. Honestly.
Mhm.
Um, I've never met anyone like him. Like,
Beast man.
I think it was that time we went to Spice. He was quite late arriving, and I think me and Matt just looked at each other and were like, this guy's definitely gonna be making some faces here." Like, there's be like a new cultural experience for him. And like 10 minutes in, he was just like, "Oh my God." Um,
He's loving it, like.
but yeah, no, it
And
was
then,
really good.
like Batman, he whips out the three turbo digest caps right after the
Right
meal.
after, straight after, yeah,
He
vacuums
did
on the
that again.
stairs.
He did that again, and then he was vacuuming after.
Class. I saw that. That's
I
unreal.
mean, that's nothing to be proud of. It means you haven't eaten enough. Come on,
Yeah.
eat a bit
Uh,
more.
Um,
well, dude.
But yeah, no, it was very, very good now. I definitely was a bit like, right, I'm kind of glad I'll be back here one more time before I
Yeah.
start prep. It's a good place to go as well, like just to obviously see things off. So yeah, but no, it was a good night. Matt, I saw you were making some Thai green
Chef.
curry.
Yeah,
Eh?
chef. I was like, I was thinking, do I get an off plan or do I not? Because especially on a Saturday, just with how my meal timings work on my session length, it actually makes sense for me to not have an off plan, but like change my last two meals to just one
Mhm.
meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I got out of the gym at like 4, half 4, and then had my third meal at like 5 o'clock. So usually my last meal's at 8. So it's like, you know what, it's actually working perfectly for me to have an off plan or have something else. But I didn't
Uh,
fancy having an off plan meal. So it was like, you know what, make a nice Thai green curry because essentially I had the rice cooked, I had the chicken cooked as well. So all I had to do was put the fucking curry sauce in and
Hmm.
chuck the veg in. So yeah, just made that, and I love a Thai green curry. It sits well. Um, so yeah, we'll definitely be doing that more often. I think.
banging.
Mate,
Very
the,
very
the
good.
biggest thing about, and I think it's maybe just maturity in bodybuilding as well, but one of the biggest things is like, does the meal sit well? Because if it
Mhm.
doesn't, you're almost just best avoiding it.
Exactly,
Um,
man.
like it's just never worthwhile. Like I don't know what it was this week, but it's kind of fresh in my head as a result. I started incorporating more potato in my meals. So like white potato, dicing them up, firing them in the air fryer. To be fair, maybe it was the quantity, but I just had quite a busy week, so I ended up doing what you're talking about, Matt, quite a few times, and that 5 meals would become four, and they would be bigger. But mate, I was having like 500 grams of white potato, which for me, I'm looking at the calories thinking it's like 90 grams of carbs here. It shouldn't be like crazy. It's
Should
realistically
be no cost
similar
of that.
enough. It's similar enough to 100 grams of rice,
Yeah.
but fuck me, like
Boys, it sits completely differently.
it did not sit for
Really?
me. Yeah, like I was so disappointed too because I was like, I think I had it 4 days in a row, and I was like, mate, this is class. Like I could eat this on prep. Like I'm really enjoying this. All right, yeah, just a lesser serving, but yeah, like it did not sit well for me at all. Like, see some of those sessions last week, I was going into the gym and was like, bro, like I actually feel like I'm being hindered here in terms of my ability to train because of how food's sitting in my stomach.
I think it's probably the quantity though, because like over prep,
Yeah,
during prep potatoes, it's grand for me, but it's whenever I push it to a certain point, whereas I'm like, no, it's probably more conducive to have like 110 grams of rice instead of
yeah,
no the same amount of, like the same amount of carbs and potatoes. Like it's just it does sit in your stomach. Like
definitely.
I mentioned this in my YouTube video. I think a lot of people's digestive issues with white potato come from stress and overthinking it.
aye,
I feel like white potato is so like demonized in terms of like from a digestive standpoint, where people are
yeah,
like, "This is not going to sit well with me," or they're thinking about how it's going to digest before they've even eaten the food.
100%, man. Tom
Um,
was talking about that too. He was like about how your off plans always digest like the best because you're
with
in a low
stress,
stress
Low
environment.
stress state,
And
yeah,
and
low
it like
stress.
completely makes 100% sense. Like
And I think if you don't overdo it on like the seasonings and stuff, and if you're chucking in the garlic powder and the onion powder, like for me, I know that flares stuff up. But if I
yeah,
just have the white potato with like a little bit of olive oil and then some herbs or something on top, it sits perfectly. So I've got like 500 grams later tonight, and it sits well as long as I'm not like overdoing it with the liquids as well. Doing wee
yeah.
hours and making sure like half an hour before my meal, half an hour after, I'm cutting that water off. It'll sit perfectly. So, but yeah, I do understand like there's certain components of white potato that maybe make it a little bit slower digested and harder to digest. But I do think a lot of the time people just overthink it, and if they just chill out about white potato, they'd have no issues.
I have no issues.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of against writing it off as well because I enjoyed it that much. I'm like,
Mhm.
maybe I'll try 300 grams and see if that's any better. But yeah, it I'm admittedly one of the worst people ever for that. Like sometimes I'll get to this stage in the off season and I actually just flat out ignore digestive problems.
Mhm.
Like I'm just like, bro, fuck it. Like I'm gonna be like this at this stage and that's just it.
Aye,
But there was a point there I was like, right, there is something not right here, and it's starting to impact my training sessions a bit, so I probably need to do something. So
aye.
it's the only thing I could think of really. Um, but yeah, I would say you're probably right, Matt. I have to say though, it's not something that I've really ever used like that much. Like I remember Josh Campbell having the air fryer chips every single day on prep.
He was having that pre-workout with the wrap and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
remember that.
Wait two
Um,
seconds, boys. Keep
you're
on
all
keep on
good.
up.
I know I was having sweet potato most of my prep,
Yeah.
which did sit a lot better because I think it just like the volume of it was a lot less.
Mm,
So then I got to a certain point when my food was that low, we did move to white. Yeah, we moved to white potato just so it like filled me up a little bit more. But I don't know. I feel like if you cook them for long enough as well, they just like shrivel up into
shrivel
tiny
up. Yeah,
pieces, and it feels like I haven't actually
not
eaten.
much.
Um,
Yeah. No, I enjoy both to be fair, but for some reason I was just looking at like stupid ways to try and make things cheaper, and I was like, maybe I should try potatoes because you can buy like a 2 kilo
Potato
bag. Yeah, like
so cheap.
yeah. So
Potatoes are cheap, man. Also, bananas are dead cheap as well. Like
yeah,
I
Yeah,
can't remember who was talking about this, but they were saying about how like you can buy so many bananas and like as a carb source, it's literally so cheap.
yeah.
Mm.
Um, yeah. I don't know. I'll probably continue to experiment with it, but it's just obviously one I noticed over the last week or so. Um. Yeah. Do we want to jump into some questions?
Indeed, I'll get mine up.
Sweet.
We've
Scroll
all
down the
obviously stuck a question box up for today. Shay as well. Let me see if I can find maybe the first one that I had. Oh, for God's sake, the question box thing's gone away.
Oh, what? I have a quick one here before Matt gets his up anyway.
Off you go.
Ryan Parker has asked, "Why are you so addicted to Snaggy Jacks?" Right?
Snacker
Snaggy
Shacks.
Jacks are unbelievable. They actually are. As a rice cake, they're up there with the best rice cakes ever, and they're just so unbelievably easy to eat. Now, I'm not saying you should get all your carbs from Snaggy Jacks, but all I'm saying is Snaggy Jacks are quite tasty. Like firing them on along with a meal, like pre-workout meal. I always have well at the minute I'm on four but I always have rice cakes. I'm with it. And caramel Snaggy Jacks are like so easy to go
Yeah.
just eat.
I wouldn't. I honestly, I don't think I would buy rice cakes from any other brand other than Snacker Jacks.
Boys, I'm telling you, we need a Snaggy Jack sponsorship for the podcast. They are deadly. Like
Fantastic. Yeah.
Have you had
I
the chocolate ones?
the chocolate ones are banging, man. They're the
Are
best.
they? Because I've
Uh,
heard people say they're as good as the caramel
they
ones.
are very
they're
good.
better than the caramel ones. Lad. They're like I think they're like eight. I think they're like what 15 more calories or 18
Yeah.
more calories or something
Yeah.
like that. But it's worth it. Like for each chocolate chip. Like
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really use rice cakes unless I'm like on prep or
High days.
yeah, high days.
Or if I'm
big days, they are
traveling.
handy.
If I'm traveling and I can't
Problem.
get
Yeah.
fucking rice cooked, I'll just have some Snacker Jacks
Snacker
instead.
Jacks. Yeah.
Uh,
I'd
They
much
do.
rather have like a crumpet or like a bagel or something if I was having
Would
like
you?
yeah, like than a rice cake. Yeah.
a crumpet, man. That's all I haven't had in years.
I
Really,
think I haven't
I've
had a crumpet since I was like
three
7.
three to have here after this. And I've
Oh,
actually
let's
just
go.
programmed them for someone as well. Actually just programmed them for Brian Shea because he was like, I'm getting sick of bagels here. So
Oh, no
like
way.
crumpets might make I think they make sense because they make the size of them, they're like that size and there's 100 calories in one of them. So pretty much just like two crumpets per bagel.
You can get them
Struggling to
buried
eat,
too. That's
struggling
like
to eat bagels.
that seems like a mad. That seems like a classic C-bomb macro matching me there when he's
Yeah,
there
it
for like
is.
the maddest macros at the end of the day and gets crumpets and whey paste.
Crumpets and whey paste by, yeah. I've definitely done bagels and whey paste anyway.
I did that for like show days, and actually, I remember I did it recently when I was traveling, and it was like I don't think I'll ever have it again.
Do
It
it
just
again.
It's like
There's mate, there's bound to be in my archive on Instagram photos of it, but what I was doing on show days was mad. I was doing like 75 grams cream of rice, like 20 grams away or whatever it is, because obviously your protein's lower.
yeah.
Um, I think there was a couple squares dark chocolate maybe in one of them. But also what I was doing was getting a squares bar and doing the fucking Josh Campbell and ripping it up and putting it on top. And like looking back, I'm like, why did I do this on a show day? Like bits of squares bar and cream of rice, honestly.
I've
Uh,
done rice cakes in cream of rice and yogurt, and that's actually quite nice, just to
Quite
give it a
nice.
bit of texture.
I've done rice cakes in there too. I think I was on show days as well. The only thing
Clearly,
I
I
remember about show days is like the squares bars just like covered in honey and like so
Yeah,
much salt on them. And like you know
yeah,
trying to eat it before the honey spills on the floor, you're sitting there, you pulling the maddest angles ever.
honey's class. Like it's so underutilized in my opinion. Like
uh,
I remember being on prep watching Jack Eagles eating bowls of cereal with honey and milk and
mate. Have
being
you
like,
seen? Have you seen Sass full day of eating Sass Haradi?
nah,
oh,
Mate,
did he? How many carbs is in his post workout meal
it's
again?
like 200 grams of oats with 200 grams of honey.
It's
It's the
ridiculous.
maddest thing I've ever
my
seen.
fucking God,
It was
200
a bowl of
grams.
honey with a load of oats in it. I just could
Yeah,
not believe it. And he was like, "Yeah, go and put some honey on here." And he's just doing this for about 20 seconds,
20
uses up a
seconds.
full
That's
thing of
right.
like the Roy's hot squeezy honey. I was like, that is mental.
That's
But
something I could definitely polish after a leg day.
That's absurd.
Uh,
it's crazy.
It's definitely, honey, it's so underutilized though, because like it would probably be great in a bowl of oats, like on top, like
Yeah, I used to have that
100%.
pre-workout. 20, I think it was 20 or 30 grams of honey over oats. That was good.
and
Very good.
realistically, honey, I don't, like I'm not going to pretend to know the benefits of using natural honey, but it's probably better than fucking, some of the other shit people put on top of oats.
We used to sell it when
Dollops
I
of
worked in the hall in
Biscoff
the bar.
spread and fucking all that.
I know. When I worked in the hall in the bar, we sold Manuka honey, and boys like see some of the so Manuka honey goes up in levels, and it goes
Yeah.
up to like 800 plus. But like they were literally like some of them were like over 100 quid. and people would
I
come in and buy them, and instead of taking like vitamin C for your immunity, they would just take a spoonful of Manuka honey in the
Manuka
morning, and I'm
honey.
like, what? That's
Yeah.
literally like gold, like it's mad.
Manuka honey's like different level though, yeah. Because like I remember I was having it whenever I was sick, a while back, and like it is different gravy. To be fair,
Uh,
I could understand why it's like 100 quid or whatever. Just hope it was a decent jar for that price, or a deep, best be a kilo or something.
uh,
Um, but Matt, do you want to go with the next one?
Yeah. What was that question?
It was to Shay
oh,
about rice cakes.
Oh.
Ryan just asked why I'm so like the Snack Jacks. Ryan Parker.
Just a
Um,
good carb source, mate.
It's just a decent carb source, man.
I suppose this one we can do bodybuilding and then men's physique as well. Elwisa, most butchered pose. So from a men's physique perspective, what would you say, Shay?
Um, well, there's only two main poses to be fair, but I'm trying to decide if
Well,
it's
if
a
you
full.
think PCA as well, you've obviously got like the hand overhead and
Mhm.
stuff.
Maybe the hand overhead, people leaning down too much and acting like it's the most muscular, you know what I mean? But in my opinion, I think it's the back pose is well butchered because people act like they're flying. People act like they're literally like Buzz Lightyear, you know what I mean? They proper put their arms out and straighten them out like that. When it's like, no, you're trying to expand your lats, like you're not trying to do a teacup pose, you know what I mean? Or like a T pose. You're trying to
T-pose
like
straight
actually
out of Roblox.
Aye, you're trying T pose like you're trying to expand your lats. Aye, so I would say the back pose to be fair. Front pose is like like because there's like three variations of it. It's relatively easy to like sort of get the gauge of. You know what I mean? Because like a lot of people like I know people a lot of people don't look good in it. But if you do a Superman pose, like literally stand with your hands in your abs like Ryan Terry style, that is basically a front pose. And I know a lot of people don't look good in it. Like, but it's I've seen a lot more people doing that now. I don't know if you've noticed, but after Ryan Terry started doing the Superman pose,
Mm,
everybody started doing it, and everybody looks shit
yeah.
on it.
It's
Feel
one of
like
those. I don't think people are necessarily hitting it wrong. I feel like they're just not built to hit that
I had it.
pose that
They're
well.
not big enough for it, like exactly.
Yeah, it's just it doesn't work for them. They'd be better doing a different type, like a hands off hip or one
Yeah,
hand on.
that's the thing about the front pose. It's all about like it's all about hiding your waist and expect like making you look like you have a better V taper than you do. So that's why people angle their hips to the side and rotate their upper back. Whereas Terry's just so like perfect from a structural standpoint. He just stands like that, and people are like, "Oh shit," you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I work away. What are you saying for bodybuilding poses?
What would you say, C-Bomb?
Um, it's funny. I was gonna wait for you to answer, right? But I'm trying not to state the obvious one.
Okay.
I honestly think I've seen a lot of bad side relaxed poses in
I was
my
going to say
time.
side relaxed.
Yeah. I think the obvious one people would jump to is obviously a twist and three quarter because you do see quite a lot of bad ones, but
Yeah.
I also think there is, to be fair, people you'll see not hit it, and they probably want to, but they just know that they're not great at doing it.
Yeah,
But aside relaxed, you have to hit it. It's obviously mandatory. So yeah, I've seen quite a lot of bad side relaxed poses, to be honest.
yeah.
Uh, I
I
agree.
think I think it might have been Jake was talking about this, and he was saying like your first side relaxed is like the funniest pose you'll ever hit in your life.
Oh God, I'm going to see if I can find one
Yeah, I
where I
might
started. Oh,
I have my
I was
progress
thinking I
album
sent
up
these
here.
to Finn when I first signed up. That was the first time I ever did one.
Because it's like, especially if you're like peak off season, you can't see any sort of obliques at all, or like any sort of
Fuck
definition in
me,
your
mate.
I
midsection.
mean,
So
I've
you're like,
seen worse ones, but like that was mine.
Yeah, that's not
It's not
bad.
awful. I
that's
was
not even that
kind of
bad.
I had the right idea, just couldn't do it.
Do you know what? I totally forgot, but looking at my progress album here, mate, we weren't actually sure. I kind of think I was, but I did it anyway. We weren't sure initially if I was gonna do bodybuilding or men's physique. So AJ had me hitting like the men's physique side shots for quite a long time. And I'm looking at them here, I'm hitting them totally wrong. But like
I remember like when I first started following you, I thought you were men's physique because you had just the chest,
the
the
chest,
abs, and I mean, everything for men's physique you had.
Yeah.
yeah. It's the I think what happened was yeah, the initial inquiry photos I sent AJ cut my legs off. So
Oh,
he was like, oh, we really need to build the legs up. like my programming was so like I even remember reading my sheets. It's probably still there. It's like match the fullness of the upper body through building the quads. And I remember looking at it thinking, no harm, mate. Like my quads are pretty good. Like I always at school had like Mr. Hines, fucking head of rugby in Wallace, saying, "Fuck me, fella, are you not gonna play rugby instead of
Big
hockey?"
Ramsey, like.
Yeah, and yeah, a few people were like, "Oh, fuck me, Seaborn, you've got legs like tree trunks." But yeah, I think it's that thing as well. Mate, I've even noticed this. I'm not gonna mention anyone by name, but I've even noticed this with a few people, Matt, you even coach. See, like there's still this thing with bodybuilding where people are like, we were talking about it in the last podcast. People are like, "Oh, getting the trunks on, that's a bit gay." Like, I'm not looking forward to getting the trunks on. You know what? People genuinely dreading getting the legs out. I
Mhm.
think I was like that maybe back whenever I inquired with AJ, and that's why. Because I think I sent my inquiry photos in trunks. Mate, the sooner you shed that mentality and realize just get the
Uh,
trunks on and get the legs out,
I was
better
talking to a PT and
if you've got them.
Emma about this, and he was talking about he was actually talking to my girlfriend about it. He was saying about like, does your boyfriend do men's physique? And she was like, aye. And he was all, that's a bit gay. And I was like, lad, I was all, no, fuck. I was like, bodybuilding's gay. But it's funny because when you get into bodybuilding, you're like, oh, stand on the stage in a thong, that's pretty gay. But then now you're like, the bodybuilder's like, no, men's physique, you don't have your legs out, that's pretty
Yeah.
gay. You know
It's like the
what I mean?
most
It's funny.
Yeah,
manly
you
is
can't win.
yeah, it's the complete opposite.
It
It's like
flips like,
bodybuilders are the men, the men's physique are the little boys.
it's like
And
men's
that's
bikini.
once you get into the sport, that's what you start to think.
I know.
No, no, it's funny, like funny.
Quality.
But yeah, I would say side relaxed pose definitely most butchered. Most butchered.
Happy days. I have one full disclosure from my mum, but it's actually a good question, right? Uh, yeah.
Do you know you're sideways, mate?
Right.
No, no,
Right back
I've
now.
doing it. Like a supporter, and what have you learned from the last few years? Um, she's begging for it. Like, it's obviously my mum was the biggest supporter, like, but
Yeah.
she was a legend back. Like, I don't know if I've like actually talked about this anywhere. Like, but back like a good few years ago, I had like a decently bad eating disorder like during lockdown. And I was like, I think at one stage I was nearly like sub 50 kilograms, like around 50 kilograms. So like, and
Shit.
then, but like ever since then, I was like training back then, and you know when you're training and you have like no physique at all to prove it, and you're
Hmm.
just training, you're like, well, everybody's asking you like first year uni, people are asking you, oh, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm doing bodybuilding training. I'm alright. I don't want to go out and drink. And they're like, right, fair enough, lad, work away. Um, my mom was always still there, being like, oh, that's really good. No, she was always like really involved in the gym um, and like really involved in me training and stuff. So it was pretty cool. Like even back then when I had nothing to show for it, and then like years later, it's like, oh, it's actually she actually saw some sort of potential. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and then biggest things I've learned from the past few years. I was thinking about this yesterday when when she asked the question, but it's like biggest thing for me is you don't have to be perfect at something to make progress. So like I think there's a big thing now that it's like you have to be this 100% all on bodybuilder to make progress. You have to get up at 5. You have to like do your fasted cardio before you to have your first non-carb meal to improve insulin sensitivity. And it's like, lad, like as long as you sleep enough, eat enough, and train hard, like you don't even need to know what reps you're doing or how many sets you're doing. As long as you want to bust your balls and leave and do a bit better the next week, it's like you're going to make some sort of progress. You know what I
I
mean?
feel like that takes the fun out of the sport when people are like that. You know,
Exactly.
looking at all these young kids coming up, and I mean, I don't blame them because they're kind of doing everything right and like doing everything to 100%. So
Yeah,
like, fair enough because they're going to make good progress. But I feel like you're almost missing out on life, and you're
you
just
Yeah.
are. Aye.
stressing over stuff you don't need to stress about. Like yes, for example, I go out on a fasted walk every morning. I could like get really deep into the science of like why that's better from an insulin sensitivity perspective and all this. Realistically, it's just because I like walking and it makes me feel good.
Yep.
That's really just why I do it. Like I'm
Yeah.
not stressing over this. This needs to be done fasted. If I can't get out fasted, it doesn't matter. I'll just go for a walk after my first meal or later on in the day. Like
Man, I think a while ago as well, you were saying you like stopped logbooking for a while and just went on and
yeah,
started like just doing you like obviously still training hard, but you literally just went on and like
just trained.
trained. Aye.
Yeah.
I feel like the logbook was like holding me back in my own training because it was just I was almost getting caught up in what I was lifting and what I did the previous week. And not that I was stressing about beating the logbook, but I feel like when it's there, you're like, I have to beat this. You know,
Aye.
Yeah.
if I haven't done this, I haven't progressed. But like, you don't need to progress the logbook every single week
No.
to still make progress. So
Yeah.
Progress.
I just got rid of the logbook and just actually focused on getting the most out of my sets. And I was like, you know what? If I get rid of the logbook and I do this for 12 weeks, get the most out of every single set, I know looking back, I will have got stronger. You know, it's going to happen. So
Yeah.
I did that, and my training improved in terms of both from an enjoyment perspective, but also what I was getting out of my training.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of logbooking, like I write down everything to do, but I'm not flicking back to the previous week and being like, okay, I did 4 plates for 9. I'm doing 4 plates for 10 this week, or 4 plates and a 1.25 and matching reps. Like I just use the previous week as like, oh, I did this weight. Okay. It feels light enough. I'm going to go heavier, or oh, it's still pretty heavy. I'm just going to make this a really good set. Like
Yeah.
that's what I do now. So
Yeah. No, I think yeah, particularly if you're around that age, like I'm not going to tell you what you have to do, but if you're like 15, 16, 17, 18, and you're like getting into the gym and you like want to compete, I don't think you should be saying no to like social events and going out and drinking, whatever, like going out on a Saturday night once in a while. You know, these sorts of things you do at that age as well, because like realistically, you'll probably end up with the same sort of scenario I'm in now, where I feel like I've done that. I actually don't want to do that anymore. I'm happy enough to graft in my later 20s and not, socialize and go to those sorts of
build the
events.
business and stuff
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
I'm not too focused on like going out to bars or whatever, like the time to do that, or even like going to events, like raves, whatever. Mate, the time to do that is when you're younger. So like you still make great progress, like doing all that. Like I wasn't necessarily a bodybuilder, but like I was still looking at what I was eating and trying to make progress in the gym. And I was probably going out like once or twice a month, you know.
Aye.
Um, so yeah, I do think you don't want to be looking back at the same time and like let's just say not, I think that's another topic slightly, but let's just say, you focus for so many years on competing, being the best bodybuilder you can be. You think that's what you love, and then you compete. Maybe you don't finish as well, or, maybe you don't place as nicely as you would like to, and you're thinking, fuck me, like, what did I do that for? You don't want to be in that scenario either.
Yeah.
I think all these kids who are going in with this all in sort of mentality, they're getting to the age where they're like 20 years old, 21 years old, and all they have is bodybuilding. And it's like, you're not a professional. Like, you need to have a life outside of this.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding is, for all of us, unless you're like an Olympian, bodybuilding is literally just a hobby.
Yeah.
You know, if you make it your entire life, you'll have nothing and you'll burn yourself out. And I'm looking at all these kids now and I'm like, you don't really have anything else going on for you, and you feel like you're trapped in this bodybuilding bubble where it's like you can't step a foot out of line because you're just going to like completely have an absolute meltdown or something, because bodybuilding is basically all you have right now. So it's becoming like a full personality trait for people, and I understand why. And I definitely fell into that trap as well, where it was like you want to be so good at this thing that you just put all your time and effort into it. But then at the end of the day, like nobody cares that you're a bodybuilder. Like you do this for yourself at the end of the day. So
Yeah, and that's just it. Yeah. And the other thing is as well, like this sport ultimately requires your body as a vessel to be able to do it. Like if let's say you get sick or like you get like, touch wood, like a terrible injury. It's the same with like footballers or whatever, that have to retire early. Like, man, it's ultimately a privilege to be able to do this. You might not be able to do it forever. Like I feel like
Yeah.
sometimes as well, if it is all you have going for yourself, there's potentially you could be taking it for granted that you're able to do it as well. Um, so yeah, no, I would agree with that. I think it's important to have other things going on too, for sure. Um, but yeah, uh,
100%. Who's been your biggest supporters over the past, like, during your bodybuilding career, if you don't mind
I'm
me
just gonna
asking
piggyback off your answer and say my mum and dad.
them.
Yeah, but like realistically, because none of my
uh,
friends understood bodybuilding. I didn't really have any actual bodybuilding mates when I first started as well. It was just kind of me training.
100%, man. Did you
And
notice
over
in that
the
first part as well that you were on, like, sorry to branch off here, but like I think it was Chris Williamson talked about it, that you're in like a transition period.
mate,
So
I
like,
loved that podcast he did about that.
yeah, so like
Yeah,
what basically what it means is whenever you start something new and you're trying to like basically like improve your life in some sort of way and like venture off into something that you're interested in, you go into like a transition period where like you stop talking to your old friends, you start talking to your new friends, but you're in that grey area where like you're not making as much social interaction as you
yeah,
were back then, and you know you have to get to this place, so you have to like invest more time into this. You know what I mean? So it's like a grey area where a lot of people feel lost, but it's like you have to go through that in order to like branch off into another level in
it's
your
like
life.
leaving this group behind to get to this group.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
to
And
do
don't
that,
get
it's not just like the two are connected and you jump over this line. It's like you have to go into this middle bit where
uh
you probably have to spend some time by yourself,
yeah,
working
and
on
don't get
trying
me
to
wrong,
get to
like
the next group.
you always like don't get me wrong, like any friends that I have from back in school, like anytime I see them now, it's like you pick up where you left off, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
It's like you
Oh,
never lose your friends, but it's like you like if you want to further your life in some way, you have to leave behind the parts that you're like, right, I don't really see myself doing this in a few years, or I don't see myself doing this in the future. I need to move to be around people where I know that I'm going to progress, you know what I mean?
100%. Yeah. Um, no, I definitely experienced that as well. Like very clearly at uni, but even other just times in my life as well. Like it is another thing, a few people have said to me, oh, I'm maybe not as fortunate as yourself to have, friends that are into bodybuilding. Like even the existence of this podcast, the fact that three, there's four of us in the chat, but there's three of us doing the podcast. Darren's obviously based in Australia now. Like Shea, we've obviously met, had you on. Like the community, I think, around bodybuilding, over here as well as it is very tight knit, close knit.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Not everybody's as fortunate as that. I've had people, other bodybuilders, to be fair, over in England, but I've had clients say to me, like, how do I make mates at the gym? How do I do this? How do I do that? It takes time to get there as well. Like, I definitely wasn't always like this for me, like, I remember going into the gym and being like, just trained on my own all the time and like didn't really speak to anyone. Outside of that, even the guy that like first got me into training into the gym, Alex, like he's not a bodybuilder, but like we just trained for pure physique goals for years, and I don't like still really good mates with him, like 100%.
You
But
coached him for a bit, didn't you?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, coached him for a bit, and like that's even mad. Like the fact that I coached him after getting him into the gym. Um, but mate, like he wouldn't have an interest in bodybuilding or whatever. So I don't naturally speak to him anywhere near as much as like I used to. Whereas back years ago, mate, it's like fucking get in the gym 2 hours and then get on the PlayStation would be on in the party chat. And it was like that, that sort of friend group.
yeah.
So yeah, no, that's definitely important. I think for me though, yeah, it would also be my parents, to be honest.
That's
Just
cool.
would. Like it's just as you kind of said, Matt, like I think especially here, like awareness, maybe anywhere, but like awareness of natural bodybuilding, even being as big as it is, it's not really. It's kind of it is a niche sport. Like I know what Aiden was kind of saying when he was on about his grandparents seeing the Ireland jacket and all,
Ireland,
and
yeah.
thinking, fucking hell, like this is
Aye.
massive. Um, yeah, like the awareness maybe isn't there. So like whenever I was telling my parents about it, it was very much like when I was going through my first prep, it was like, all right, and like what's next? What do you have to do after this? All
Yeah.
right, and you won this show, what does that mean? But they're very supportive of the process. So yeah, I'd have to say the same thing, to be honest.
I
Um
like my mum and dad have gone to every single show I've done. They
yeah.
just I
That's
think
so
once
cool.
they went to the first one because it was obviously in Scotland, and I was like, how do I get over? And they're like, oh, we'll come, we'll support you, and we can go as a little family. And I think when they saw me do that show and do well, and then people coming up and like speaking to me after, they were like, this is actually quite cool. This is like,
Yeah.
this is a big enough thing. And then it just kind of skyrockets from there and progresses, and you start doing bigger shows and stuff like that. And then obviously the success of my last year, and like even going out, getting an invite to like a European Championship and stuff, and being able to go out there. And if you just tell random people in that you meet in the street and stuff, like, oh, I've been to the Europeans or CBAM, I've been to the Worlds and stuff, World
Yeah.
Championships, like that's a big fucking deal. It's a big
Yeah,
thing. But it's just because bodybuilding is so niche, it just people don't really comprehend it as much.
I
But
know. It's
yeah,
almost like
be
people
proud
are
of that
taking it
stuff.
back. Sorry, what
Yeah.
we saying?
No, just saying, be proud of all that stuff. And even if people don't
I
really
love flexing that. I'm not gonna
yeah.
lie, like I'm sure it's the same for you, the Europeans. I love saying I went to World Championships because I almost feel like people go, "Oh fuck, right? Like this actually must be like that's a big deal." World
Well,
Championships and
people are
everything.
taken aback by it because
Yeah,
they don't
like
realize when you say you do
yeah,
natural bodybuilding, they're like, "Oh, did you like place in like a local show or something like that?" There, and you're like,
yeah,
"No, I've actually had like I won the British Championships," and they're like, "What? How you like?"
yeah,
I
They're like,
often find if I like tell, I remember being in work when I worked in retail and telling people I do bodybuilding. They were like, "Oh, I know such and such. They do bodybuilding. They did the NABA show.
"My
It's
cousin
called
was power
NABA."
lifting. I
And I'm like, "Yeah, that's not really the same thing. I did the Europeans and well, I won the Europeans and stuff." And they're like, "Oh fuck, you might actually be quite good." I was,
you
yeah,
feel
yeah, I'm
weird
not bad.
flexing it, don't you? Well, like you
Yeah,
sort of it's funny as well, man, because they see the way you said it there now, and that's the exact way everybody says it. You like brush it off the tongue, and you're like, like I went to World Championships. They're like,
it's
like
like,
what?
yeah,
yeah.
it's so weird. Uh-huh.
It's happened to me a few times as well. That it's like it's just the way that I think it is over here too. People are not, sort of clued in, but it is just the natural bodybuilding community over here and where it's at. But like I've had a few conversations where it's been like, oh, like do you compete, do you? And it's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And they're like, do you know such and such? And it'll be like trying to keep it anonymous, but it'll be like, some guy who's maybe like in
Joe
30.
Jeffries, he won a NABA
I
show in
Yeah, yeah, mate. He
1979.
he, he won he won the Nava, so he did,
He
and his
got third at
quads
NABA Masters in
and his
2015. Do you know him?
his quads are nuts, mate. And he used to train me 3 years ago, and we would train legs for an hour and be sick after and all. And then I'd go, yeah, 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 no, I know of him. Yeah, I got the World Championships, and it's like it's kind of like it's just a funny it's a funny sort of experience. But yeah, you're right. That's sort of the way I've said it every single time as well, trying to brush it off like it's nothing. Um, but I'm gonna ask this question and then run to the toilet quickly. Biggest lesson from your last prep going into your next from Aiden, funnily enough.
Work away, Matt.
I don't think, man.
I'm trying to think as
I
well.
learned so much. I learned so much during that last prep. Um, I've got a couple of things actually. First is probably just like chill out and remember that I've heard quite a few people say this is like nobody cares that you're a bodybuilder. I feel like I
Aye,
did almost make it my whole personality that I was competing on. It's like I need to eat at this time, I need to do this. I'm a bodybuilder, I'm on prep, I have to get my cardio done, I have to get my steps done.
yeah.
Just chill out with all that stuff and
Exactly,
just
man.
get it done, but you don't need to make it a big deal.
I don't think it that deep, and also like even when you're training and stuff, do you ever like I don't know about you, but like you sort of go into the gym whenever you're like 4 weeks out and stuff, and be like, right, I have to look really solemn, and I have to like get on with my session. And I'm like, no, you're it's almost like you're not talking to anybody because they're like, oh, they know I'm 4 weeks out, so I need to like, and you're like,
Yeah.
no, you're not in a bubble, like you know what I mean. You exist along with everybody else that's here,
It's
like.
like you're trying to make yourself the main character.
Exactly,
That's
man.
what you're trying to do.
It gets to
Yeah,
that point as well because because prep is so regimented that you're like, oh, like because you're checking on multiple times a week and you're eating at certain times, it does feel like, oh, like I'm like you sort of give yourself like a main character vibe, but it's like really it's not that deep.
it's not that deep.
First of all you're choosing to do it yourself. It's
Uh,
not you're not being forced on it, and then second of all, if you don't want to do it, then you don't have to. You know what I mean? And then also, like to add on that, if you don't place or do as well as you want to do, that's no one's going to
who,
die.
who
You know what I mean?
cares?
Exactly. Who actually cares? Like,
Oh, I think like don't get me wrong, there's a certain point or there are certain days in prep when you do just need to put the hood up in the gym and like
Yeah.
headphones in. But don't go into every session like that. As soon as you hit prep, be like, hoods up, I'm on fucking prep. You know,
Oh,
this is
100%. Don't
you
do
know,
it to the detriment of the rest of your life, you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to do be that like at the gym, 100%, but then whenever you leave the gym, right, you're done training for the day. What do you have to do the rest of the day on prep? Like, eat and sleep, you know what I mean? I think Josh Croghan was talking about this as a bodybuilder. One of the main things that is in your plan is sleep. Like, that's so easy to do. You literally just fall asleep, like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not that deep, like, just eat
literally
your
just
meals.
close your eyes, mate, and don't
Like,
open them again.
uh, so
Oh.
don't be don't basically don't make yourself the main character and then don't be stressed about the 1%. It's not that deep like at the end of the day.
Hmm. Like I said, bodybuilding is just a hobby for all of us. I know we all
Yeah.
want to do as best as we can, but it is just a hobby. We're not, well, I suppose UK FPA announcement earlier, like you can make money off it, but we're not really making money off this.
Yeah,
So our lives are going to be no different, I imagine, if you place first, if you place sixth. Like there's
Yeah,
really,
like these don't actually mean anything now,
yeah.
like they're just the same with
This is just, it's
Danny.
cool to have, like, but
Yeah, yeah. Like
nothing actually changes.
it's
aye.
kind of just like a personal accolade.
Hmm.
But yeah. Um Matt, did you both give an answer to that?
We kind of, well, both had
Same thing.
a similar thing, but
I have one more thing to add on it. It's just like put 100% trust in your coach because I think it
yeah,
gets to a point in prep where like towards the end they're like if you maybe like say after a leg day or something like that, you trained unbelievably hard and you look like a bit watery the next day, your head can melt at a point, you know what I mean? You're like, oh shit, this is not like you know what I mean. My weight spiked up. I'm looking about watery. Whereas like if you have a coach there, well, as I had fun. It was just it took all the guessing work out. Like I don't know how my self coach to be honest, because like when you have a coach there, they just tell you what to do in your full athlete mode. It's so much easier. Like
even with like we were talking about taking check-in pictures every day, and
yeah,
like you're always going to look at your check-in pictures and try and analyze them in some sort
oh
of way.
100%.
If you can just have a coach where you like take the photos, send them to that person, just give an update as to how you feel, and then just leave it there. Don't be
Yeah,
saying, I think I look a little bit more watery, or I don't have as many lines here, or I might be holding water in this certain body part. Just fucking forget about all that. Just
uh,
take your photos, send them to the coach. Let the coach actually coach as well. I feel like people just stop being coachable during prep
yeah,
because they want to almost get too involved. They're being a bit too objective, or subjective. Sorry, just let yourself be able to be coached.
yeah.
That's why you're paying the coach. So stop trying to self coach yourself almost.
Mm.
Yeah. Um Mine, obviously I agree with that one as well, but I'll come at it from this angle as well because I think this is a good one for me this year. Um, it's just to be aware of how expensive it is. Obviously, like people have to, you have to have your own expectations. But like I think for a lot of people, they're very eager to prep nowadays. Like, oh, I want to do a prep, I want to do a bodybuilding prep. But it's like, bro, like you don't have a job. Like, how are you gonna afford it? Like, I'm sure we'll do a podcast on this. I'll probably either do a YouTube video or a podcast on this when I'm post prep. But I have a spreadsheet where I'm tracking all of the costs associated with each show at the moment and like everything just for the crack. I just want to see. For me, obviously, the expectations are hopefully to get to the WNBF Worlds. That's going to add quite a bit to it. If you're doing an international show, it's going to cost, what, 700 pound to fly over and accommodation, all the rest of it.
Sorry.
I walked
That's what
into
you're
that
waiting
one.
for, man.
Yeah. It's gonna add up. And then as well, obviously, totally unnecessary part of it, but I've obviously hired a videographer for both the Irish shows. That's quite expensive.
Yeah,
But I do think if you're competing, you might if you're putting everything into it, like we do, you do want to maximize your prep. You do want to make the most of it when you're there. From maybe a content standpoint, or yeah, obviously the travel as well just adds up really fast. Like I've entered all my shows. I'm yet to pay for tan, polygraph, accommodation, travel, photos or media, and my total's already sitting at 2.5 grand.
it's crazy.
So yeah, guys, it does really add up as well. I've had to maybe chat to a few clients about that as well recently that, people are very keen to jump in, but the last thing you would want to do, because I have heard about it happening, I think even guys that are very good from our gym, their selection of shows hasn't maybe been where you would expect it to be because they couldn't afford to travel over and do the other ones and stuff. Which is
Yeah,
a shame when you think about the amount of work and time and effort you put in, to be limited financially, you don't want that to be the case. So, yeah.
I think you made a good point as well, like tracking how much it'll be beforehand. Like I think that's
Mm.
something that's really smart because it actually lets you know right what you need to go into this year because you'll get to a point where you're like at the end of last year, I didn't track how much money went into prep. I just sort of I still don't know how
Won
much
it.
went on
Yeah.
it.
Mm.
But like towards the end, if you like say if you decide to continue your season on, you're like right, I'm going to do this show, and then you have to pay for travel, accommodation, tan, the show membership itself, and then anything afterwards. You know what I mean? It does add up, like, and then it's just expenses. And then like one day you look at your bank and be like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Mm.
uh,
Like
If you
don't
haven't,
don't leave everything to the last minute as well. Kind of
mm,
yeah,
space out the payments if you can. So like if you're doing a couple of shows, maybe pay for one of the shows early on when you got the money, wait a couple of months, maybe pay for the next one, rather than like backloading all that payment and entering all your shows 1 month out and
yeah,
then like stressing out because you just spent like well over a grand
yeah.
and you're, what's happened here? And
uh,
even little things, like let's say you do want to do multiple shows, but you don't have a huge amount of money, maybe just consider what shows you're doing and maybe think about doing multiple within the one federation. So there you're not having to pay the extra fee for
exactly.
Membership. Yeah.
the membership.
That's part of the
Uh,
reason I did PCA was because I just
yeah.
had my membership for the year and I was like, right,
Yeah, that
sweet.
was it. Yeah.
It's just one little thing that can take off a load of stress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Whereas
have
I'm the total opposite because I paid for PCI membership and I'm doing one show. Well, potentially two, but it's one show, like,
Yeah.
you know.
yeah, there's always a Galway one you can hop on in November, lad. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's a good one.
Um,
I have one more question here. It's from Zach H. Gym and it says top three cake selections. This is a mad one to be fair because like for some reason I can't really think of cakes on the spot, but I've got two in my head.
I've
I've
got
got
quite a few in my head.
I've got red velvet and I've got can I just class like a birthday cake as like a flavor?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you know
It's like
birthday
vanilla sponge with
yes.
rainbow sprinkles, like that kind of flavor. Yeah.
Unbelievable boys, right? So birthday cake, red velvet, and then I'm trying to think of a three, but you boys can work away like
I've got a few here. I'm not putting carrot cake in there, but I do like carrot cake.
Yeah.
carrot cake.
There's a really good coffee and walnut one that is, I think it's Marks and Spencer's. Very, very nice.
Okay.
Um, there's this coconut one, and it's like marshmallow fluff as the the icing, and there's like buttercream in the middle, separating the two sponges. Uh,
That Matt, we need classic cake flavors here. I thought we were just branching off on the like no actual
Chocolate
cakes like you think
fudge,
of in your head.
Victoria sponge. Like, for me,
Aye.
I'm gonna
These are
throw
customizable these are
throw a
customizable
fucking
options like
I'm throwing a fucking wild card in. I think man, I think Battenberg's like elite, like
I'm not a
class.
massive Battenberg man.
are
Really?
you not more?
Oh man.
What do you think of the way?
I haven't
I think
tried
it's
it.
nice. Yeah, I think it's good.
What way flavors did you and buyers do your trade deal on? Like what ways do you have at the minute, Matt?
The ones I got were the chocolate bourbon biscuit and
Banging.
cookie
Oh, banging.
dough cookie dough brownie. Cookie dough brownie, I fucking love.
Okay.
Absolutely love it. So so good. But he got this one, and it was like so he got Battenberg, and then he got um. Oh, I can't remember the name of the other one, but this he got this. Oh no, he got custard slice. That's what it was. Custard
Yeah.
slice was good, but there's this coconut one, and it's
Aye.
like a coconut patty or something. It's called. It is one of the best ways I've ever had. I think I'm
It's
going to get myself a tub of it.
it's pointy flavor, isn't it, basically?
But it doesn't taste like a bounty.
Right, okay.
It is. I think that's the idea that they've gone for.
Aye,
It's
I get you.
unbelievable. It is so so good. It's like just
Aye.
a chocolate coconut, but the way they have it, it's perfect.
Yeah.
I got the custard slice, and to be honest, I just thought it was all right.
It's not so like what the
Very sweet, but it's
they're
good.
like it's very sweet, but it's like a different flavor from Perform, right? Because
Mm.
they use instead of soya lecithin or something like that, they use sunflower lecithin. They thicken it up, which is why I used it during prep because I was because I my gainer was bad at the start of prep. I was trying to cut out like everything with soy on it, so that's
Yeah.
why I used DWP stuff. But so that's why it tastes a wee bit different. But the Battenberg one that they have, the way is
Mhm.
unbelievable. I see, ma'am. I think you've tried it, like, but it
Yeah,
is
yeah.
banging, like.
Yeah, Jake treated me. I give him some red velvet perform for it. It is very, very good. Mate, they have more fucking flavors than perform. It's actually
I know.
mad.
Mm.
Apparently,
Um,
candy corn's nice too. I think Brandon was
Yeah,
on
Brandon
that
was
there.
talking about it.
yeah, it's
But
chocolate coconut patty. That's the name of it.
Yeah, oh, so good.
unreal. But
I'll
I
have it tonight.
red velvet birthday cake and you were saying Battenberg cake is up there for you, see, man.
Yeah, I feel like though you can't have top three cakes and not have like chocolate fudge cake in there, or
I
just like
was
any
thinking
Oh
that.
my
chocolate
god.
cake. You
You're
know,
right.
So yeah, I feel like that's probably got to go in there.
Chocolate fudge is on there.
I don't think what other cakes there are.
I do agree. I do like carrot cake. Like it's actually really, really good, but it's not going in the top.
There's
I'm
going to
gonna
be
be
one that I'm forgetting, and I'm going to be raging.
Lemon
But
drizzle,
I
mate.
think
yes, man. There we go. Lemon drizzle is on there.
I feel like it still doesn't crack the top three.
Nah, but it's so good, mate. It is great.
If we're putting number, if we're like actually having a number one, I think chocolate fudge cake.
Yeah.
I think that is
Uh,
just the best.
I think we can agree on that because it's like the classic dessert. If you're out to the restaurant with your family,
Yeah,
you're like, oh, what do you
and if
get?
you
Yeah,
get it like
chocolate fudge
hot,
cake.
if you get a
Ah,
warm chocolate fudge cake with like
slap.
some ice cream or something, some cream.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
unreal.
exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
Matt, see, seeing your face light up anytime like food's mentioned, it's
I'm
unbelievable.
bad for
Anytime
it.
we
Like
mention food, this Matt just smiles.
I'm so bad for it. Like
Oh,
I wish I had your like metabolism so I could just eat cake all day and eat off plant food.
you're banging, man.
Because like I'm on 3,500 calories right now, and it's like I'm still gaining weight. It'd be so good if I could just eat 5,000 and have a slice of cake every day. But
Mate, I'm on 331 and I was on just under 3,000 for the longest time. And I was like not gaining weight, like enjoying my sessions. Everything was tremendous, balancing off plans. All of a sudden, an extra 100 calories goes in and I'm like fucked. Like I'm up like 2 pounds now and I'm thinking, fucking hell, like I don't really want to gain that much more here.
Aye,
Mad. I
Tim's
just thought,
told me that we're holding now until the end of the off
yeah,
season. He's like, we don't actually need to push anymore.
yeah, that's fair.
that's to be fair though. That's like it's always the thing with bodybuilding. It's like you want to be able to gain on the least amount of food possible.
Yeah,
Like you know what I
it's a
mean?
good
Or it's
thing to
like,
have. It's a good place
aye,
to be in.
Yeah,
like,
some people hate life because they're spooning, fucking, I don't know how much food into themselves and having
aye.
Ben and Jerry's daily.
My training days are on just under 4,500 now, or like around 4.5 because it's meal plan. Like, but it's like it's I've actually started to gain weight from it now because I'm like lowering my steps because I was just walking about everywhere, and now I've actually lowered my steps and my weight's going up, which is pure cool. Like, but it's
Mhm.
weird too because you just get adjusted to your food, don't you? Because like 4.5 to me now is like right, I can put that away, grand.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's mad.
Yeah.
Uh,
I've got two questions that are kind of similar but a little bit different, but I'll do this one first. Um, any defining moments that made you realize you wanted to pursue bodybuilding slash competing from Tom Dooley? I don't know if there was a defining
I'd
moment.
say when I won my first show, maybe for me, because like up until
Yeah.
that moment, I genuinely I was a bit like, bro, like I might come out of this prep and not want to do this again.
Yeah,
Like when I won my first show, I think I was like, oh, like that actually was sick. I think there's something pretty cool. There's something to be said as well for see the WNBF Ireland. Whenever you're on stage, they play like fucking Metallica. So I have like the overarching memory of like hitting front doubles, being like, this is sick, and
Yeah.
like yeah, like until that moment, I genuinely don't. I don't even know if I was sure that I did enjoy it or that I was gonna enjoy it or that it was gonna be for me. So
yeah.
yeah.
I think
I
after
would
your
say
first show. Yeah, I think that's probably
after your first show, same for me. Whenever like see the PC Ireland show when I got up on stage, I was like, I loved it so much. Like it was like I love the prep and stuff like that there, but see the act of like being on stage and like posing, I loved it. It was I thought it was just so cool. It was like it sounds mad, but like, but it sounds like you're up on stage and like doing a performance, and like the audience
Yeah,
is like, like when you had like a good pose and you get moved on the middle, you boys know it's like
yeah,
you proper like clapping
No
and going like,
feeling
come
like
on,
it. Yeah.
oh, unbelievable, like. So I would like being on stage, even if I didn't play that show or do well, it's just like getting up on stage is so fun.
yeah.
Mhm.
I think I forgot to mention this in the last podcast when we were talking about music, but I also like I just love being on stage that much that like I since my last prep throughout the entire off season, like even 2024 when I was still 2 years out, mate, I was listening to music purely for the aspect of could I pose to this? Could I have this as a posing routine?
Man,
Like
it's
it's weird, like sometimes I'm driving in the car now and I'm just listening to orchestral stuff or like stuff from TV series or whatever. But
yeah,
I I think like even if I'm out for steps, same thing. And I think like that's definitely like passion shining through as well, like the want to compete, the love of being up on stage. Um, yeah,
100%. When you were
I
saying about going out for steps and putting on a song, I know men's physique don't have a posing routine or a song like, but I do that all the time. Like whenever you're out for steps and you imagine yourself posing this song, then when you go onto your like session and you stick on that song for like a top set, it had so much different. Like
yeah.
it's so cool.
No, I think for me definitely it took the first show to really convince me that it was something I wanted to do because whenever I first did prep, I've spoke about it before, but I was kind of just doing it, so that I had it ticked off and I didn't have any regrets later down the line. Um, but yeah, um, I have one from Donal here, which I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I asked this on the previous podcast. Top three natties. Did we answer this from each of us?
I don't think so, no.
I would struggle to answer this
Why don't we just go like our top three
between us.
physiques? Like, no, like what physiques do we like the best? Because if we go off
Natural or
the
enhanced?
best, yeah, if we go the best naturals, it's just going to be who's won the WNBF Worlds, really.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want me to take the men's physique side and you just go volleyball?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can go classic,
Right.
so you
Okay.
can go bodybuilding.
Great.
To be fair, I could probably do my classic ones.
Off you go.
So, so I'll obviously have the goat of classic physique at the minute, Toyton. So definitely put Toyton in there for
Yeah.
top three natural classic. There's a guy called Damien Dawson out in America. So he's an OCB pro. His physique is absolutely unbelievable. So I think he's won the Yorton Cup. Have you heard of the Yorton Cup?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
won that a couple of times now. Um, Let me get his physique up here. It's called like the bearded one or something on Instagram.
Beard of
Um,
Odin.
where's like that's his physique.
Fucking hell.
Oh,
It's
what?
it's just mental, like front to back, head to toe. It's just insane. Like
It's
so,
so cool seeing some of the natural like natural guys that are top of the heap on Instagram because it's like I think it was I can't remember
fucking
who it was, but
levels
it's
to
mental. Like seeing them on Instagram and you're like how I remember not being on the natural bodybuilding, just seeing them on Instagram, being like, how is that natural? That's ridiculous. Like, but it's so much more impressive because them boys have like literally just grafted for like 10 or 15 years to achieve that physique, which I think is so much more impressive.
trying to think of the last one. Why am I struggling so much? Might have to just leave it at two.
True. Um, yeah, mine's it's a hard one this because like with the bodybuilding division, I think I'm always just gonna gravitate towards like the WNBF pros that are absolutely huge. But I feel like I have to include Oscar Muscat, the professor. Like I just looked at his whenever I saw his physique, I was like, bro, like this actually is mad. Not even like from I know sometimes people are looking at him and they're like, there's no way that's natural. It's more so just like it's just how bubbly he is. Like
Yeah.
and like yeah, just crazy physique, probably number one for me, to be honest, in terms of what I've seen. Um, I also really like Dirk, to be honest.
Yeah.
Um, I know he's not the tallest, but like I really do like his physique. Um, so I'd probably put him in my list. Um, because yeah, like he just consistently looks better and better. I'm not sure who would put in at number three, to be honest. Self. Um,
I've
Jake
got
Myers.
there's a guy here. It's going to be an absolutely rogue shout out for this guy, but he competed in the WNBF Brazil. It's called like João.
okay.
Oh, I think I see him. Like,
He's just got a really nicely put together physique. Just really nice muscle belly. He's good shape. So shout out Zhao. He will not be watching.
shout out to I have two men's physique guys, and then like I can't think of a third to be fair, but Ander Basurto, haven't he's ever seen him? He's a
Name rings a
spot.
bell.
He's got glasses. Search him up on Insta. He's really really good. So
Yes, yes, yes. I know exactly who you mean.
he came second, I think, at the WNBA Awards, but it was like a toss up. You know what I mean? He could have came first, but he was like, aye,
Sick.
unbelievable, like massive chest, like just really really well put together. But at the WNBA Awards, he was like he brought over like a massive crowd of him from Spain. I think that's where he's from, Spain. But
Yeah, yeah.
he was like aura farming walking on stage. So like whenever they were walking out, everybody was smiling and all, and he was like pure straight faced, peg pointing, and like the crowd was going crazy. But it was like it's pretty cool. I think he's got a good physique. And then I'm going to say one that I've actually seen in person. Which is like it's going to be a rogue shout, but like he's also just a really nice guy. Reese Kiffin at the PCA British Finals was unbelievable. It was crazy because the lineup in that show and the day beforehand, it was like Jovan was in the same category as him, Josh Croggan was against him, and like Reese, nobody really expected Reese to like
There was the other WNBF guy,
as a
Wolfman,
Mamadou.
was it? Uh,
Wall of Man's his Instagram
yeah,
man. He was a guy wearing the blue shorts. But like everything just looked like perfect on that day for race. He looked unbelievable,
that was
and
one of the like best peaks I've ever seen.
yeah,
It was like everything was perfect.
he just looked
Unbelievable.
solid. And I competed against him in the overall. And it was just like what looking at some of the photos back, I was like, no, he's full, he's dry, his tan's mint, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And it just also adds that he's a nice guy, like. But um, three, I can't really think of either. I would say I haven't seen it in person, but looking back at photos, Brad Coxage from the year before last, he was at the PCA Nationals as well, the first one they ever did.
Captain America. That's what
Captain America, man, ridiculous. Like I think he's competing this year as well, which should be pretty cool. But aye. What do you know? What honorable mention actually at the MBW show, Josh Croggan looked month, because he was like I don't know if you know, but he had like a collaboration pair of shorts with like Gymshark and stuff, and he was rocking them at the MBW show, and he looked month. I was like, that's pretty cool. Like so, I'll throw Josh on there as well. I know that's four, like, but
I've
aye.
got another three honorable mentions that have all just popped into my head while you're speaking.
So
This guy, I don't know how I forgot him, but Petru, shout out Petru.
Oh yeah,
yes,
Um, Gonzalo, you know, Adam Poy's client.
yeah.
yeah,
Gonzalo, phenomenal physique. And then also um, Adam Tikaz, Tim's church client.
yeah,
You know, he won his pro card.
yeah.
His physique, phenomenal as well.
He's
Absolutely
ridiculous.
phenomenal. So shout out those boys.
Um, I feel like I'm picking all the heavyweights here, but I was trying to remember the guy's name. But Brian DaCosta won the WNBF Worlds the year I
Yeah,
done it, and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
his physique was nuts. Um, and I realized why I forgot his name. He hasn't posted on Instagram since 2024, which is mad. Um, like an actual post. He posts stories flat out, but I was just
yeah.
looking there when his last post was, and yeah, 2024. Which is a bit mental, but yeah, I mean his physique's crazy. Like genuinely nuts. So yeah, um, but no, that was I only have really one more, which isn't a question. Elisa just said in person pod whenever I'm over competing in Ireland. I'm sure we will, mate.
100%.
I don't
He's
know because we'll
competing.
be
He's
trying
competing in
to
Derry as well.
figure out our own shows then. Depends on
Yeah,
what's
All
happening.
right, no five. Depends on which one of the five Irish shows he's actually
Yeah.
doing.
true.
Oh, what?
Final question, I suppose, Stuart Chess. What was the reason you all got into bodybuilding and competing? I feel like we've touched on this a couple of times, haven't we?
I've kind of just ticked mine off there previously, and that the reason I decided to do it was because, well, Matt said it earlier on. He knew me as like he thought I was into men's physique because I'd done a couple of photo shoots and I had a decent physique and I'd trained to the point where I thought I had decent enough proportions. So I thought, right, what's the next thing? Competing, and I also kind of. Think when I reached out to AJ, I would have been like 23. So like I didn't have much in terms of responsibilities. We were also coming out of COVID. Um, and I was like, well, if I don't do this now or work towards doing this now, maybe I won't be able to do it later in life with, kids and, other things going on, job responsibilities. So that's kind of why I did it. And then it kind of just spiraled from there, really. Admittedly, did a bit better than I expected to. And yeah. It's kind of just it.
That's like, I got into bodybuilding while competing specifically, just like obviously as a byproduct of training. And I just like obviously you start getting more involved in it when you follow people on Instagram. Then you're like, oh, that'll be pretty cool. That'd be pretty sick. Yeah, I think it was Josh's Instagram I saw, and he was like, I was like, wow, this guy's like 19 and doing that. And then I saw Matt, you and Jerome and Fun were all competing the same, and Donal obviously as well. We're all competing the same year on their Fun, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then like Cameron, I saw your Instagram, man. I was like, there actually has a serious community of boys here. That's like it's actually pretty cool. You don't even realize too until you actually do some digging that you're like, right, no, there actually is there's a decently sized natural bodybuilding community. You just have to look for them. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
Mm.
yeah. I'm already doing that for this year coming. Like you're seeing the WNBF and the NBFI reposting people already who are tagging them, and I'm like, well, like who's this guy?
Uh,
Mm.
You do have to do a bit of digging, but yeah,
Um, I suppose I'm kind of similar to most people in terms of like you get into the gym as a byproduct of playing sport, and
yeah,
especially with rugby, you need to be a bit bigger, a bit stronger. But it was almost like as soon as I started training, it was immediately like looking to the bodybuilders as to what they were doing. And
yeah,
even from like a young age, I don't know about you, but it's like I feel like everything I was interested in, there was always like I don't know how to describe it. It was like WWE, they're always absolutely jacked.
hmm,
Rugby players, I was always who's the fastest, who's the strongest. Oh, I want to be like that. I feel like even in movies and TV shows,
yeah,
always kind of looking towards the like most muscular, strongest characters. I don't
yeah,
know. I feel like if that kind of makes sense. So
yeah.
it
I
was
mean,
always like you were looking towards that, and that was like that was considered like what you should look like and what the ideal sort of physique was like. So I guess that's kind of
mate, I definitely thought I was the same, but like I definitely when I was like 15 thought to look, and sometimes I do lose sight of this, to look like I do now whenever I'm lean. I used to think, I can't do that naturally. Like you have to be on steroids.
yeah,
Um, so I almost didn't have an interest in looking like a bodybuilder. And that's why it may be more like it was maybe more of a compound interest sort of spiraling effect with myself where it's like you just, as the years go on, you do take on more and your goals sort of are sort of, yeah, higher and higher up the ladder. But yeah, like it was definitely the same for me. WWE, gaming, all those different things. You all see all these characters and you're like, fuck, that's pretty sick. Uh,
even like from a really young age, looking at like Batman and Superman, like they're all jacked. Nobody
yeah,
grows up wanting to look like Spider-Man.
uh,
yeah,
You know what I mean? So it's like you're always just kind of looking at that. That's always in your head, and it's like that's what I need to look like to be a man. But when I grow up, I have to look like that. So
Uh,
then, just kind of get into the gym and start training.
uh,
Posters of Action Man on the wall, fuck's sake. You're
oh,
thinking,
what?
all right.
Yeah, I remember playing with Action Man when I was like 5, being like,
Yeah.
I need to look like this.
It
I
like
remember
this.
playing with Randy Orton, being like, "This would be sick to look like." Actually,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, 100%. Grant, any more? Or is that us? Wrapped up?
I think that's all
Happy
smart.
enough. Happy enough. We'll leave it there then. 'Cause yeah, we're obviously coming up to the 2 hours. But yes, guys, no, thank you very much if you have made it all the way to the end. We appreciate it. As always, if you could drop a like or a rating on Spotify, really, really appreciate it. I've actually noticed that a few more of those have been coming through, so obviously the plugs have been paying off. But yes, really appreciate it, guys. Shay, thank you very much for obviously filling in. We always enjoy it, and yeah, I'm sure it'll not be the last time, mate, we have you on. It's
That's
always
one.
good
Thanks for
crack.
having me.
But yes, thank you very much, guys. We will catch you on the next one then. All right. Cheers.
Later, lads.